Hey friends, hey family, hey loved ones. Just wanted to come share a few things. I've been writing a lot more the last couple days than I have in the last couple weeks, and been doing some good shadow work. Some good things been coming up for me to look into more deeply. And I just found like some gems and nuggets and some things that I had been looking for the last couple months. And I'm just inspired and I don't know, just have that burning feeling and desire to come and share and speak. And so I'm coming to you in my unwashed, wandering, wildish state. And yeah, just here to celebrate and participate in all this love that is blooming, growing, expanding, stirring, rising, and unfolding. And so it feels really good, and I am super happy and feeling good, feeling so much joy and peace. And yeah, it's an interesting time for sure, to say the least. But yeah, what can I share to begin with? Just grateful and glad to be here, really, at this time and for this life, for the love that I have and I hold for life, for all of life, for all that she is, for all that we are, for all thou art, for the Creator and the created, for creation, for all creation, and all parts of that whole that we are. And so, I been doing some rearranging. My husband and I, we've been kind of playing musical house. It seems like for the past year, in a way, like turning up everything upside down, and like slowly but surely, working on different parts of the house. And kind of, yeah, just revamping. I don't know if that's the right word, but just recreating and regenerating like new freshness in our space, and letting go of old things and welcoming in new things, and also integrating, yeah, both. So it's been interesting and very fulfilling and rewarding and fun, and it just kind of really had to have some patience about it, knowing that it wasn't all gonna get done in one sitting or in one night, or it's like, that old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. But and it didn't collapse in a day either. That is interesting. Um, yeah, I guess it's all in how we choose to see things or not see things. Yeah, avoid seeing things or refusing to see things that are right in front of our face. So, yeah, I can understand a lot more than I did. Today, I understand so much more about what was going on internally in my inner world with me, and it helps me understand and have compassion for what is or was going on with my loved ones and my family members that I had felt at odds with. And yeah, because of my willingness, to really look into these things that I was avoiding and I was kind of procrastinating and, hiding, denying, avoiding. Yeah, really, really, really was afraid for a long, long time to look at certain things because I thought it was going to be so brutal and so terrifying and so just not right. And what could I do with any of that? It was so overwhelming, you know. but just kind of trusting this process of change, growth, and transformation, healing, and transfiguration, transmutation, transformation, and letting go of the outcome and what I didn't want, like to see or to feel or to be with, or to be in, in certain ways. And so I know I was just prolonging the agony and the suffering, and so I decided to jump in with both feet. And now it's really interesting because I was just, writing earlier, and like certain things, certain streams were coming up, certain parts of me, certain aspects of my psyche had certain things to say. And in the past, a couple years ago, I probably would have shoved that down. And I realized yesterday that it was like I was cocking my head to hear almost like, oh, what do you have to say today? Because it was like this part of myself that I had judged as a negative part or not right to be, like, was kind of complaining about certain things, like in this internal mental stream. And instead of like judging it or shutting it down right away, I was just like, oh, what wisdom, what nuggets does this part of me have to share with me? And like, stepping out of judgment to allow like this part that's legitimate, its own space and its own ways, and its own power, like to show me like how there's certain imbalances and disharmony. And so, that is really cool, kind of just more, allowing all those parts to be heard and to be seen and to be acknowledged and to be thanked and blessed and praised, and then surrendered and integrated or just allowed to move through me, to be moved, to change. And so, where do I go from here? I'm practicing non-attachment to uncover and unravel all that is really true. And so what is really true is that we're all whole and we're all part of the whole. And so coming from that place that we are all whole, that nothing is lacking, nothing is broken, nothing is in need of fixing. It's just all a matter of making the room and making the space for all the parts to be where they are, and they get to be, and where they get to move into through this transition, transformation, becoming whole, healing, and revealing this true well-being. And so really appreciating what's really true, and that inner unity, that alchemical union within. And I got this beautiful message a few days ago that I've been contemplating, and it is from Divine Feminine Awakening on Telegram. And it's like one of the 2 channels that I follow right now. And that's like the extent of my social media involvement right now. And it's been such a good, amazing break for me to make breakthroughs, taking back my energy, my focus, my attention, instead of constantly scrolling, looking for information on how to figure certain things out and how to prove that I'm right to myself. That's been a good choice that I made for myself, that I really resisted for a while. But it's been now, oh gosh, at least a year and a half. More than a year and a half. It's been about a year and 8 months, I think, since I've been off Facebook, which is crazy in a lot of ways. There's some things that I really miss about it. But it was hijacking and sucking up so much of my time and taking up so much room in my mind. And so I am grateful that I made that choice to step away. But there are some things, I've been going back to in the last couple days. Some certain interactions and conversations that I did have with friends, acquaintances, and loved ones. And some of those were like, I kind of look back and I think, oh, that was awkwardly cringeworthy. And just like kind of feeling a little sheepish about certain things, about maybe how I came across to certain people or, just people in my family that had no idea and no context to put into a frame of reference like what I was actually trying to express. And I can see how, in a lot of ways, with their differing beliefs, how it might have come across as like batshit crazy and just totally off the wall when it made so much sense to me, but it made none to them. And I can see how it might have looked super ugly and how it would have ruffled their feathers. And in a way, that was kind of my intentions, to shake the shit up and stir it all up and say, fuck fuck it all up. Fuck this. Fuck this nonsense. Fuck this bullshit. Fuck all of this, tired of this. And so, in a way, like, I had to do that. And it was just like howling like a mad dog, And I was fucking mad. I was that mad dog howling at everything that seemed wrong. And so, yeah, it's just kind of funny. I will share this little thing, this beautiful, wisdom that came through. Yeah, love always. So this was from May 31st. The evidence of being an awakened person is when love rules. Love brings gifts into your life like compassion for others, joy in living, inner peace that stills the soul, patience to stick with things, doing acts of kindness without seeking reward, believing the best in everything and everyone, humility because there's nothing to prove, and self-control so we can direct our energies wisely. That's not to say we'll never feel negative emotions. Such as anger, bitterness, anxiety, grief, or fear. But we can choose to let those things pass and not find place for them in the sanctuary of our heart. There is no contest as to which is the higher way. Love always wins. Evolving all the time, don't stop growing. The mission of awakened consciousness, always look deeper within. Find the others, awaken the others, transform reality. We are building a network of enlightened beings, light up the grid. Every moment that we spend in higher consciousness helps uplift the consciousness of the entire planet. I am love, I am light, I am divine purpose, I am pure consciousness, sending all infinite love enfolded in a heart hug. My mission, oneness, my reality, truth, my church is nature, my religion, love, my faith, empathy, my practice, respect, birthplace, earth, my race is human, my politics is freedom. Creator and author, Mike Harrigan, I am, you are, we are, oneness, universal consciousness. So I thought that was great. And then there was these two things. One from June 2nd. What then constitutes an act of honor? Honor is rooted in a love so pure that it sacrifices itself without a thought to serve a higher aspiration. Every act of honor carries an equalizing force into the world rather than a divisive force. This is how you can tell whether it is true or not. If the act brings people together into the higher frequency field, it is an act of honor. Honor always carries the frequency of mercy and surrender within it. Many appalling acts are committed in the name of honor. only if they have the effect of uniting all people involved, and if they contain mercy are they honorable. In this sense, the whole essence of honor is contained in the expression of honoring another. To honor someone is to hold them in their highest frequency, no matter what their current frequency may be. Thus, a person manifesting honor may be subjected to all manner of victimization at the hands of dishonorable people, but he or she will still never sink to their level. On the contrary, he or she will continue to honor them and hold them in the highest regard. And that's from Richard Rudd, Gene Key 38. And then the morning gratitude prayer from June 3rd. It's time, grand rising love, all the angels and all of creation. Thank you for the many blessings and love surprises today as I walk in love with every thought and my every action. Thank you for the many miracles and synchronistic events which are lighting up my life with overflowing joy. Thank you for the laughter today during the aha moments as I re-heart more of the love that I am and share this with others. Thank you for all this love and oneness pouring into the planet and through me, activating all which is dormant so I may serve in the wholeness of love. Thank you for the increased visions of love which is assisting in the manifestation in my life. Thank you, love. Thank you, angels. I am here. I am present, and I am ready to be who I truly am and to live my life in love. It's time. Dreams of love do come true, and so it is. And then one last one from June 5th. The social, political, and economic issues tied to this 49th shadow are extremely complex. One reason is that this shadow is also responsible for our most ancient spiritual beliefs and customs. It is out of our ability to kill that our most basic need for spirituality has arisen. The very principles, totems, and taboos of our tribal societies have evolved through the way we justify the killing of others. All these issues arise from our reaction to the other. Reaction is the key. One tribe reacts to another out of its emotional tribal identity, and the result is a war. Reaction is an ancient tribal reflex that still dominates the world consciousness. Even those at the head of powerful Western governments are still usually governed by such emotional reflexes. At its source, all reaction comes from one-sided subjective reaction. At its source, all reaction comes from one-sided subjective beliefs founded upon the assumption of good and evil. As long as you see your own people as good and others as evil, then you remain a prisoner of the 49th shadow. Richard Rudd. So those are super interesting little nuggets and posts, wisdom posts that I appreciated. And what I'm going to share, and I don't know how, but it's going to relate and tie into those things, love and truth, and purifying and cleansing and integrating the shadow. And so, it is interesting to be kind of watching, witnessing, and listening what's going on in here and seeing what's going on and playing out there. And so I have reclaimed my focus and my attention, and I am going within like a lot more than I'm looking outward and paying attention to all the games and the circus shows out there. And I just think it's really, really awesome, though, like to see certain connections and certain threads that relate to what we actually are being asked to forgive and let go of. And so one of the things that I found today that I'd been looking for the last couple months, I found my top 10 turn-ons, my bliss, passions, and loves. Really, it's my list to generate joy in my life. And it was something that I chose to do Oh, I can't even remember how many years ago it was. It had to have been like about 7 or 8 years ago. Just it was an exercise that I read in a book. It was a suggestion to write down your top 10 turn ons, your life turn ons, and to put them in a place where you could see them every day and just kind of check in and see like if you were choosing those things. And if you were, then awesome. But if you weren't, then why were you denying those things that bring you love and joy? And so I just thought it was so awesome that I got to, to find these today and look at all these things. And the number one thing that I wrote down was tea, tea and the plants, all that grows, Mother Earth, nature, holistic medicine, and nourishment. And so I'm just like looking down at all of these things and seeing that I'm choosing them every single day, and it's so awesome. Like, whereas like when I first started and I put these in my bathroom on my mirror so I could see them every day. Um, there was certain points in my life where I wasn't choosing one single thing of that was on my list, like for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. And now it's just like, wow, I'm just making, such loving choices for myself now, and I can see how it's created such beauty and such goodness and such prosperity in my life because it is related to the love that I am and the joy that I get to choose for myself, and the joy of being alive. So my top 10 life turn-ons. And yeah, there's this card that was with it, and it said, with love, faith, grace, and hospitality, generosity, and reciprocity, I welcome love through being me to free my flow of currency, to be received through loving all of me. And I am this love I need for me. This love I am and need to be, like for loving, through loving all of me. So giving myself permission to choose those things that really, really like turned me on and sparked that inner fire within to, yeah, that joy and spontaneity and creativity. It's so, yeah, it's just so beautiful and amazing. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I may do like, yeah, one whole video all about this, the top turn ons, and like how like that can like transform our life just by choosing certain things that we really love and that make us feel alive, help us like live our own lives like to the fullest, and appreciate what we have to work with and play with and be with right now. I see a little hummingbird out there. Joy. Uh, uh, even some acrobatics. Flying in some sort of interesting pattern too. Back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. Funny. Ah, but another thing that I found today is two journals that I had written in, I feel like it's August and September, at the end of August and into September. And it actually has exactly related to the things I've been writing the last couple days and I've been working through the last few years. Main, like, original core wounding themes that I have been allowing, like, myself to fully see and work with and work through. And what I wrote today was, and I've been thinking about some of these stories and cycling back through some of these story loops, these feedback loops, these traumatized fruit loops, watching, listening, and witnessing, and allowing, suspending judgments, and integrating, meeting them with acceptance. Love light, a new union in and of truth. practicing non-attachment to uncover and unravel all that is really true. And so, yeah, when I was going through some things so I could put some books into a bookshelf down here, downstairs, yeah, I just kind of like these books were right next to my top 10 turn on lists. And I flipped open this journal and it was like, wow. Didn't expect to see like, yeah, what I opened it to and like how it was so perfect for me to receive. And it was basically about, yeah, some things need to be confronted. And I just, yeah, I was kind of just turning through some of the pages and like looking over, wow, like some of these things I had written down, and allowed myself, like my true voice and my free voice and all these parts of the whole that wanted to speak. And so it was a different place for me to be because I wasn't self-censoring me and worried about what other people were going to think if they happened to stumble upon it and read it, like judge me as a terrible person or an uncaring, selfish asshole. So, yeah, and that goes along with actually like a question that I was asking myself May 31st, like what are the parts of myself that I've had the most difficult time allowing or accepting or loving, and so I've been playing with certain archetypes and all these things, they've been coming up to show me, yep. This is, yeah, these are all these legit parts of me that I had judged as wrong and unworthy, and they became distortions and shadow complexes and like created certain imbalances. And so we'll go into that a little more. So this is from, I feel like, September of 2020, and I get to embrace my ignorance and my arrogance and reclaim these legit parts of me and we, knowing that it's all right to be a divine human being, imperfectly perfect and loved always, through all my ways. And I have felt compelled to shine the light on the darkness to illuminate the root cause of suffering, illness, separation, and disease. And it didn't seem like anyone was really willing to really dive in deep or see and listen very deeply. But I got to, so thank you. All this love for all of me. And I was judging myself by others' standards or by projections that I had held, but that I had unconsciously held. And these false projections and standards that were created by something or someone else. And I got to see where I projected those standards, those false standards, onto my teachers, mentors, and elders. And I couldn't live up or measure up to them either, the false image of myself. But I sure did try my best to, and I got in my own way, disallowing myself my own fullness, not allowing myself to be, not allowing me to be me. All I am, all I've been, and all that I will be. All my love, all God's love, all her love for me, always. So being, becoming through letting me be, being, becoming, creating me, being, becoming through being created, through becoming what I created. I became what I created through being, being me. Letting go. Letting go of the need to be recognized, letting go of the need to be or feel right, letting go of the need to be perfect, letting go of the need to shine, letting go of the need to be pleasing, letting go of the need to prove myself right, letting go of the need to defend and justify my life, letting go of the need to control anything, letting go of the need to be comfortable, letting go of the need to be safe, letting go of the need to convince anyone of anything, letting go of the need to fight against or to fight back. Letting go of the need to be fake or pretend. Letting go of the need to play small and hide. Pretend, yeah. Letting go of the need to feel victimized. And, yeah, tell those old, tired victim stories and reinforce that self-pity. Letting go of the need to belong or fit in or to be accepted, to feel all right. Letting go of the need to be liked or to have to like what's going on right now. To like this as it is. Letting go of the need to manage or make it right. Letting go of the need to do it right. Letting go of the need to sacrifice myself or negotiate my power away to make others happy or comfortable so they feel all right. Letting go of my need to avoid playing the bad guy or the selfish asshole and dim my own light or abandon my, shadow and light. These polarized sides. Breaking down things. So that they're simple. That they feel less devastating and overwhelming. So we can become more empowered. Becoming more aware of our own stories and myths. So we can become more empowered through our own lives and gifts. I felt so frustrated, angry, and I poured out my heart and my soul. And I wasn't heard, I wasn't received or listened to. And I still felt like I was the bad guy. Even though I made amends and apologies and overextended myself the best I knew how. Well, it just wasn't enough, or it was judged as such in some way, somehow. So did I overextend myself through defending and engaging? Maybe a little. Maybe because I wanted it to be a mutual give and take or more communal. Maybe I did expect them to eventually see the light and come around to seeing things my way. Or maybe just open to listening and seeing other sides of the story and other points of view, more solutions and possibilities. And they didn't really seem to want to. Oh well. So, codependence. Interesting, a recurring theme, and a little dance with the narcissistic personality. Am I an asshole for not being perfect or living up to someone else's standards and choosing someone else's ways, threatening their illusions or upsetting their boundaries of reality? Their system, their security system, or their belief systems. Something they don't want to see or change or confront. Something they would rather just project or pin on me and see about me. Someone easy to blame and point to and shame. Like I've been doing in certain ways. Just what I've been doing in certain ways. Making the other wrong. Because that's what I could see. And then I realized, that yes, there may be some truth in what I was seeing, but it was actually helping me to see where I was actually choosing the same things just in my own ways. And that was a little harder for me to see. So those reflections on the outer stage helped me to see like what was going on with me internally. And so I wasn't really judging them harshly in certain ways, but I was in other ways. I felt torn apart that they wouldn't or they couldn't see any other way. Then a one way, then a one right way, rigid, closed, strings attached group think, no questions, no thought, compliance, fawning, fear, and flattery, reinforcing their own programming and the roles they chose to play. For this false security and belonging. So the needs that we have to control or manage everything. So yes, just respond and open. Yes to all the gifts and the healing opportunities. Yes to the growth and the blessings and the life lessons in all her fullness. Allow the universe to do her thing. So I see where I expected so much of certain people in my life to live up to certain standards and so that I could feel safe and secure and held in that well of belonging. But I got to go within and find that well of my true well-being, that whole self that's connected to everything else. And it is not outside of me. And so, yeah, there was so many things that made me feel so angry and so hurt and so betrayed. And so I got to, process a lot and make a lot of breakthroughs and integrate all of these rejected, denied parts of my own shadow. And so this is the page that I opened to when I found my journal today. Making assumptions. Yeah, I can take accountability for that. We all make assumptions. That's just where we're at. So questions are great for clarity, maybe a bridge of receptivity. People won't get it right away, or maybe never in this life anyway, and that's okay. They're meant to play the roles they play through their own ways, for their own growth and their own path of healing and processing their own pain. They get to know themselves always. So get to go through it. They get to go through it in their own ways. We all get to go through life in our own ways. We all get to find ourselves in our own ways. We all get to live our lives in our own ways. And we all get to be ourselves in and through all love's ways. So, yeah. If we can't own our bullshit and our power, it is not a two-way street. I'm sorry you're unable to listen. I'm sorry you're afraid. I'm sorry you choose not to see. I'm sorry you've chosen a one-way street. I allow you your limitations. I allow you all your strengths. I allow you all your lessons. I allow you to be released. I allow you your reflection. I allow you your true essence. I allow you all your projections, but I don't have to bend over or agree to be accepted or to please or to convince you or anyone else of anything or to prove myself as worthy to anyone outside of me. Thanks for the love life lessons in integrity. So, yeah, that's what I got to receive today. And it's so funny. This right here, I choose an unbullshitified life. And bullshit's been a good theme for me lately because that was one of the things that drove me the craziest. Was all the bullshit that I was seeing. And I would, every time I saw something that was just bullshit, it would trigger me. And I would get so mad, like scream at the bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. You know, and it was like, why do I have that reaction to this? Like, why can't I just allow the bullshit to be bullshit without, needing to defend myself? And so, yeah, there is a lot of gold in that. And so I did invite my bullshit to come play. And it's really fucking funny, too, that on Thursday, I actually got a happy little turd tattooed on my foot. And I've been talking about that for the last 6 months, actually, to some people. Like, yep, I'm going to get a happy little turd on my foot because my bullshit holds so much gold for me. And if I don't reject it, and I know that I can claim it, and it is a gift for me, it holds so much legit gold if I can receive, if I can open to receive, what it does hold for me. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of great great wisdom nuggets received through owning my own bullshit and the things that I didn't want to see about me, because it was painful and it wasn't pretty, like looking through the eyes of the judge. But like through forgiveness and through that grace and through mercy and through empathy and through understanding and through a willingness, like, to accept all the parts of the whole and all of me and all of we, like, I have come to see, like, how, like, this bullshit is, like, the best fertilizer. And it just is a gift for me to grow and regenerate, more love and joy and beauty. And so there was this board that I wrote up for, one of my circles. And it was something along the lines of the gardener sees the value of the compost, the bullshit, and the decay. The gardener also sees this waste as flowers, mushrooms, and tea. Like this prosperity, nothing is wasted. Everything is, given back, and everything is useful when it has its proper space and place. So, I choose an unbullshitified life, but it doesn't really have to be bad. Like, for me to give myself permission to walk away. It doesn't have to be really bad for me to give myself permission to walk away from something that's not truly serving me. Yeah, and that's one thing that I felt very guilty about, was choosing what was best for me. I didn't want to let anyone else down, or look like an asshole or a foolish clown, And so now that, like, I've addressed and confronted those fears of what I felt like I needed to be, like, those things they don't have a hold on me. They no longer have a hold on me. And so, goodbye victim mentality, goodbye sad stories, sob stories of poor me, of please take care of me, and allow me to suck on your teats of plenty. Fuck that noise and the obligatory lies of what is not mine, this poisoned mind. I don't know you anything, you don't know me anything, nothing is owed, nothing is static, nothing has to remain the same to stay comfortable or stuck in this old tired game. Yeah. Holy shit, monster. I made some big breakthroughs. Thank you. Love always. The narcissist and the codependent, the victim and the caregiver, the damsel and the rescuer, the hero and the ghost, the martyr and the wounded child. This is so interesting. So in The Sacred Art of Listening, page 18 and page 64, love in action and listening is caring. Caring for another often expresses our listening in tangible ways. So the agenda-free conversation is listening with openness. When I honor that voice in myself and in others, I lose my attachment to a predetermined outcome. And I can hear what's being said and receive what's not being said. Yeah. So, yeah. Letting go of agendas and predetermined outcomes and all those attachments that I had. And this is when I was practicing and allowing myself to step back and to let go and to say no. And I wasn't used to that. I always wanted to make everybody happy and make peace and make everybody feel loved and cared for, to the detriment of myself. And also, it wasn't purely altruistic. There was some hidden small payoffs in that, it made me feel good. Of course, giving makes me feel good. I love giving. I love caring. I love sharing. I love offering service. I love others. I love life. And I love loving. But I wasn't loving myself, and I wasn't honoring myself, and I wasn't caring for myself. I was busying myself. I was avoiding my own needs and caring for myself by caring for everyone else. And I knew that to a certain extent, and I had done work on that the last couple years, and I had been making some changes and, growing and kind of creating certain balances in certain areas. But there was a lot I still needed to see and had to learn about, where I was dishonoring and disallowing me, my own feelings and needs, in favor of being pleasing. And Saying no is right for me. Saying no is honoring me. Saying no is valuing me. Saying no is true for me. Saying no is recognizing the parts I get to play. Saying no to you helps me say yes to me and what I want to create, share, be, and receive. Saying no is love for you and me. Saying no is hard, but it's more authentic and aligned with my true well being's needs that I get to choose to be accountable and responsible for me. Yeah, through being true to me. More honoring of my energy and how I choose to show up, engage, and participate. I have the right to say no, and I have no obligation to please you or make it right, easy, or comfortable, comforting for you or for me. It gets to be this way to support true growth and change. And so, owl, mountain lion, skunk, and otter, the sun, the lovers, and the fool. And that's what I had written down for September 19th, 2020. Yeah, and that's just what I got to see today in this one. And it is really interesting. I'm sure I'll enjoy reading more into what I was going through and what I have come through. And then I have this other journal here that is from the same time period. Actually, this is September 24th, so this is the journal after. September 24th, 2020. Some things get to be confronted, owned, stirred up, called out, lit up, examined, fucked right up, and forgiven, released, begin again. So integration of the beast self, the monster, the raging bull, the minotaur, the bitch, the wild primal one, the fierce mother, the dragon slayer, the boss, the tyrant, the victim, the martyr, the idealist, the goober, lol, the fool, the student, and the teacher, the hermit, the sun and the moon. Trust and allow the process, observe, allow, and be in transition, the path of least resistance, surrender, let go, breathe, and begin again. Yeah, I've been feeling angry, resentful, and frustrated, not heard, seen, recognized, validated, or allowed to be me, to speak up for me, to choose what I need, to share fully, or be received. I'm feeling like I've been judged harshly and thoughtlessly, projections of pedestal perfections and who I should be, how others prefer me to be. And so looking at how, we use these strategies and coping mechanisms of spiritual or emotional or mental bypassing to avoid certain things or to protect ourselves and to reinforce our own beliefs. And so others seem to judge me as negative or wrong to be, but I'm doing my shadow work to make the darkness conscious and integrate this power of and for fertility and co-creating this whole full new true reality of being the witness and making the room for another story that doesn't need to compete or match up, measure up, relate to anyone else's story. It just gets to be my story. It doesn't have to be good or pretty or pleasing to someone else. It gets to be true. Yeah. And so September 25th, feeling lighter today, feeling free to be, feeling completion, closure, and peace, feeling acceptance through allowing my grief and my responsibilities, letting go of guilt, pain, shame, and feelings of rejection and obligatory caregiving, the push and pull dynamic of the family, the codependent martyr-victim relationships. Yeah. That perpetuate suffering. And so, that's all I'm going to share of those two journals for now. But I would like to share a couple things I wrote in the last couple days that relate to all of this now. Yeah. And how. So, May 31st, 2022. That's when I was last on speaking and sharing. New moon window in playful, curious Gemini, the twins, the two, the double, the duo, oneness through duality. Turtle, dog, lion, bear, wolf, shrew, mouse, scorpion, tiger, spider, snake, koi fish, otter, koala, sloth, and all feathered friends. You are with a friend now. And so, yeah, just certain energies, qualities, totems, allies, guides, um, I can feel or I notice in my internal world playing or coming out to play with me, um, to offer me something or to show me something about how I can align with what's really true for me, with the energies that are at play, and yeah, that do have a part to play in this growth and transformation. And yeah, um, how I can work with these energies to help me um, be complete. Yeah. So, what parts of me or what aspects within me do not feel worthy, deserving, accepting, acceptable, forgiving, or safe to be? What parts feel excluded and unworthy? What parts feel so rejected, disallowed, and wrong to be? What parts of me feel disconnected and separate, cut off from the original source of the love that I am? I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me. Thank you. I bless, praise, and receive all the love that I am, for my whole self, for all of me and we, for the whole of my well-being. And so, yeah, I had just left that question there and left it alone. And then it came in like spontaneously in different ways. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing all these things. I'm seeing all these aspects. Thanks for coming to play. Welcome, you know. And that's another thing that I've been feeling, the last 2 years is welcome home. And it's just like, yeah, welcome yourself home and welcome home to yourself. And so it's both ways in a lot of ways. So that's kind of funny. Love always. And so June 1st, 2020, new moon window, and new cycle of growth. I'm planting new seeds and nurturing all my dreams, my visions, and intentions with love, trust, faith, and humility, and having fun with it all, doing my best not to take myself so damn seriously. Playful, curious, allowing, open, receptive, and present. A happy day with little Ruby June and Chrissy and Babe. Always. Love always. Yeah. So I had some reviews that I did with the Handless Maiden story and Women Who Run with the Wolves. And I had read some notes last time about it, and it kind of triggered some new things. And yeah, just been playing with that story. And it's, yeah, one of the best stories I could have ever received for my well-being. And yeah, still integrating some of those things with the help of this story. So the handless maiden's wildish, wandering, half-blind state, a great force from the self, can still love us and hold us to its heart. What knowing will come to us will be revealed to us as we go along. The king recognizes the maiden as his own. He loves her as his own. We are wandering, but we are loved and we are provided for. We are so without, but sustained from within. We are above ground, yet below ground. Am I of this world or the other? I am of both. I am of the seen and unseen realms. I am of both worlds. So June 2nd, 2022, let go of ego attachments, agendas, and should-bes, expectations, preferences, demands, and fears. This special kind of fatigue that's helping me let go of all residual resistance to the one right way, to wring out every last little bit of resistance, to flatten every objection, to surrender my ego fears and the false self's ambitions, and to be open to follow what comes, receptive, centered, and clear, open, humble, and here. So the totem hind reminds us that there is more power in a whisper than a shout, that an open palm can affect lasting change better than a fist. A soft approach and open mind and heart will win the day. Avoid unnecessary displays of force and aggression, as these will only complicate matters. Show people the power of vulnerability and kindness. Deer tells us to look to the source of things, the cause, not the effect. Connect with the foundations of your life, what rises from the roots. The answer you need is deep in the earth and within you, not high in the clouds. It's not somewhere outside of ourselves. It's deep within. And then there was some synchronistic little sync winks that I had and that I wrote down the next day on Friday. And maybe I'll go into those later. But what I'm wanting to share is, these things that came in the last couple days and during this weekend. This weekend was like, maybe like one of the most more relaxing weekends I've had in a few months. And so I did get to rest and relax a little bit and let my foot heal a little bit. I've been hobbling around a little bit on it, but it was pain by choice, and it was and it was something that I got to choose for myself, and I've just been supporting and loving and taking care of myself, and doing my best to respond to my well-being. So June 4th, 2022, Saturday, I'm going to take a day to chill and be within life's simplicity. Let go of everything and be here presently. Be here to follow what comes, authentically and magically, supernaturally. To be of both worlds simultaneously, to be in both worlds multidimensionally. Opening, trusting, softening, a willingness to receive all this love there is for me and we. All this love through and for everything. I open my heart wider and I am safe right here. Simplicity, receptivity, generosity, loving kindness, integrity, humility, compassion and boundaries, empathy, mercy, freedom and responsibility, forgiveness, strength and unity, grace, truth, love, faith and beauty, innocence, awe, wonder, gratitude, courage, vision and curiosity, devotion, love, truth, well-being. Chakras, kundalini rising, the threefold flame, solar current, lunar current, mercy and severity, union and polarity, pink, yellow, blue, the triple flame, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, the Trinity, Pegasus, flying horse, unicorn, dragon, and dragon rider, sacred alchemy, the inner lotus blossoming, sparkling, shining, growing, bursting forth, rising and expanding, opening once again, wholeness unifying. Behold the jewel in the behold the jewel in the lotus. Om Mani Padme Hum. Flower of life, seed of life, Sri Yantra, Vesica Pisces, the triple gateway of transformation and soul cold activations of the star bliss suns, star blossoms, star seeds, the star bliss ones, shining stars, shining suns, shining ones of the one great sun, the anointed one, resurrection, God's self-love, realization. Healing is wholeness, abundance, totality, forgiveness, acceptance, humility, open hearts expanding, light love awakening, ascending, remembering, being loved, being love, being one. Within all things, keepers of the flame, golden crested beings, initiating, activating, inner spiraling, valuing, appreciating, regenerating, self-sustaining, self-contained, open and receptive, self-love and mastery, truth, justice, and accountability, Christ consciousness, Hieros Gamos, alchemical marriage, holy union, number 33, the beloved, the true self, God self, soul realizing, one heart, one mind, all one, all is whole. Love, grace, faith, and strength, freedom, power, wisdom, free will, and responsibility, focus, balance, unity, all the little things, goodness, beauty, of life, simplicity, love always. I am that love always. Transcending the split duality, overcoming old expectations, limitation, fragmentation, the disassociation, schizo victim, poverty, lack, fear, desire, mentality, spiritual and emotional immaturity, ego, safety, insecurity, addiction to power, domination and control, tyranny, slavery, false normalization of trauma, disconnection, separation and disease, force of might makes right, mob rule, pop culture fantasy programming, monarchy, oligarchy conditioning, technocracy, corporatocracy, government immorality, democracy distortions of moral superiority, moralism, scientism distortions, and extreme, polarized mentalism without empathy, without connection, without heart-mind coherence, transhumanism. So what it is the integration of the shadow and ego training that helps us transcend this old world split duality. So through the tension of opposites and the bilocation of consciousness, am I of this world or the other? I am of both. The white mirror of God, seeing things and seeing ourselves as we really are, as life really is, as love for the self truly is, remembering our wholeness and wellness and oneness. It's okay to let go and let others be love for themselves, to hold space for them or allow them the space to be who they need and get to be for themselves. Hold space for myself, my whole self, and all the love that I am. We are, thou art, for love to be love through all ways. So the devalued aspects, the denied, disowned, distorted, cut off, unclaimed power, answers to questions asked. And so these were the aspects that were the hardest and the most difficult for me to allow, accept, and include. And so, yeah, I was aware of some of them and I had been playing with some of them, but others, I just had resistance to. And so here are the aspects and some of the archetypes that kind of reflect some of these qualities and some of these energies that I didn't know how to direct or to course correct. The liar, the minion, the puppet, the order follower, the fragile covert narcissist, the codependent, the asshole, the con artist, the fraud and the saboteur, the selfish bastard, the coward, the ghost, the greedy miser, the helpless martyr, the good girl and boy, the knight in shining armor, the Mr. Burns type, only in service to self-interest and power for the lower ego and small self gain. And the cocksure, the so full of themselves, the awkwardly cringeworthy and cruel, the self-righteous, the closeted vain, and the falsely virtuous, the know-it-alls, mother superior and father knows best, the making it all up as we go along, social justice crowd, too dense to realize that they're the new brown shirts being used. The hag, the bitch, the whore, the tyrant, the slave, the addict, the epicure, the judge, the prude, the pushy and rude, the entitled, arrogant, rigid, trolls, naysayers, and bandwagon fools, the village idiot, the stupid, the ignorant, useful idiots, the clueless fools, trained monkeys, minions, and tools, the victim, the villain, the joke is on you, the scapegoat, the devil, the joke is all you, the predator, the sinner, the outcast, the outsider, the wanderer, the sacred fool, and the sacred rebel, the hero, the king, the magician, the gardener, the witch, the maiden, the queen, the mother and crone, the spirit in white, the fae folk, the unseen helpers, allies, friends, guides, and teachers, the heroine's journey home, welcome home, recapitulation, becoming whole. And that was something that I wrote yesterday. And so, yeah, there was some awesome things that I got to listen to today that just affirmed and confirmed, like, all these things that I've been playing with and working through. And so, it's pretty awesome. I've been looking at the wounded feminine and the shadow feminine and the wounded child, and integrating the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine, and allowing all to be. And like, yeah, that's something that I was working on in September and October, was making the room and making the space for all parts to be. And that included a place for the wounded feminine and the healed feminine and the wounded masculine and the healed masculine. And yeah, and it's interesting just making the room and making the space for that grace to come through and transform what's ready to change. So June 6th, 2022, and this is a 666 portal, which is interesting too. And so I'm thinking about my extended family, a gaggle of wounded women bound in darkness and untruth, the traumatized and abused, the wounded and unconscious feminine. So we've been made to feel guilty and ashamed of our bodies, our desires, emotions, feelings, our moods. We're made to feel that we need to sneak off to breathe deep gulps of fresh air. Our guilty pleasures and temporary freedom, replacements and substitutions. The girl with the red dancing shoes. And so there was a book, or a little story in Women Who Run with the Wolves. And that story is coming back to me too, to look into. So the addict, the good girl, and the blind guardian. The addict and the prude, the judge and the perfectionist, the idealist. Yeah. The wild child and the feral woman, the devil, the shopkeeper, the stranger, cycles of pain and suffering, forbidden fear and desire. The constant pressure, undermining, gaslighting, minimizing, bypassing, ignoring, distracting. Numbing, repressing, projecting, denying, hiding, running away from. And then the big shadow dump consequences of the ego's overcompensation, the shadow complexes, the prison guard, and the emasculated warrior, survival strategies, toxic roles, and poisoned bodies and minds. So I've been thinking and cycling back through some of these old story loops, these old feedback loops, traumatized fruit loops, watching, listening, and witnessing, allowing, suspending judgments, and integrating, meeting these aspects with acceptance, love, light, a new union in and of truth, practicing non-attachment to uncover and unravel all that is really true. Poison is a woman's weapon, the hound. So how do we poison and punish ourselves with our own unacknowledged pain over and over and over again? By repeating and perpetuating the old trauma, victim, lack, poverty stories of separation and disconnection and disease. The disempowered victim, the helpless, wounded, unseen child, the abandoned, hurt, exiled, shamed, betrayed. Yeah, maiden. Devaluing, ignoring, denying, turning a blind eye to the predator of the mind, and denying the soul-made life. And so, yeah, all those things, like, really hold some huge, huge things for me to look into for my healing and knowing I am whole. And a lot of that was just like allowing and accepting and forgiving and letting go. Yeah. And a willingness, to just let it unfold in its own time instead of being, because some of me was really like impatient and uncomfortable with it. I wanted to fix it. I just wanted to wanted it to change because I didn't want to feel this discomfort, dis-ease, and pain. And so I wasn't allowing it to actually go through the healing process, allowing myself my own process that I needed. Yeah. So it's interesting and good to see. Yeah. All of these parts that were judged as wrong and unworthy. And so it kept perpetuating old stories of pain, trauma, and disease. Yeah. And so, yeah, I've been thinking about those things and seeing how in our culture, and it's like multi-generational as well, that there's been this normalization of this is just the way things are, this is just how it is. Like it's the normalization of disconnection and trauma and disease. And so actually like those things like are not normal to our true nature. And so it is interesting what we've gotten used to being like, and kind of like what we believe we are because we've identified with this pain, trauma, and disease. Yeah. And so, yeah, we blamed ourselves and we blamed others, and we've been stuck in this guilt, shame, blame. And so, yeah. So letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. What else wants to be known? I feel, yeah, humble and grateful that I've been able to receive all the joy and all this love that my true being was asking me to choose for me. And I do feel more balanced, and I do feel in more harmony, and I am grateful for the help that I've received of these unseen helpers, allies, guides, Mother Earth, and the Great Mother, and yeah, our Creator, God, and all that's connected to everything, all that's connected to me, we and she, all this love that we are, all this love that we be, yeah, all this love for all beings. Yeah, this one love that we are. And so all the different many expressions of, yeah, the one, the all, and the many. And yeah, we have been watching, my husband and I have been re-watching Game of Thrones. It's so funny. We got a new TV, and I never like really pay attention to like, yeah, like certain quality, like the, like I never really noticed certain things about, yeah. I mean, gosh, like it hasn't really mattered to me like a whole bunch, but I can see now, like, yeah, how like some of the technology that we have available to us, it's like it is super interesting and it is so clear in certain ways, and so it's so fun like to watch like certain shows, yeah, because it looks so real. You can tell that it's not real. You can tell it's unreal. You can tell when it's fake. And so I think that's really ironic and silly and fun to play with, like right there. Like, yeah, and seeing with new eyes and seeing, yeah, through a new lens, like all the things that are outside of me. Yeah. But it is like definite reflection of what is happening within me in certain ways, and like trying to reconcile some of these things by going back to these old stories again and again and again. I can see like why they need to play themselves out until we recognize the patterns. Yeah. And so it has been really illuminating and eye-opening and invigorating, really, like to have some of these breakthroughs and to overcome some of these old stories and old beliefs and things that were not serving me, that were holding me back and sabotaging me in so many ways. And so, yeah, now that I have gotten out of my own way And I don't expect like all challenges to fall away, because challenges help us like see what we're capable of, and see like to test our strength, our newfound strength that we do have to work with and to use, like, and to make use of, to acknowledge, to honor, like all these resources that we have. And it's just a matter of how do we make it work for us, and how do we harmonize with, these gifts and these things that do connect and relate to everything and to our own well-being. And so it is super fun and, yeah, magical, really, and super enjoyable now. Like, I do feel a sense of completeness, and I do feel appreciation for everything. I do feel like I have less hostility within me, even when it's like certain things that are happening, or like that I don't prefer, I don't like. There's less triggering now, and it's more of my attention is turned to what I can choose for myself right now. And I do have compassion and empathy and love for, you know, for what everyone else is going through. And I do have that deep love for us all. And I do wish us all well in our journey, or whether we're walking through hell and, coming out the other side of that. And whatever that needs to be, whatever that gets to look like, to be fully received and integrated and freed. And so I do know what is mine and not mine to carry, and that helps with a lot of clarity. And so I love you all, and I'll say goodbye for now. I hope you're doing well and choosing love for yourself. All right, I love you. We'll see you for now.